I was a business transfer agent, and I was a business transfer. I think it was about 8 months, and in all that time, I never actually saw a business sell. And what often happens is that people run a business for many years, and the business creates value, but one day they come along and they get ill, they get sick of the business, and they think, I'm going to sell it. And all they can get for it is what the business is worth at that time or the past 3 years before. And in years gone by, people didn't always declare in small businesses how much money they're really earning, so they had no proof. So you were always selling potential. But the thing with growing a business is that it's not just about saying, you know what, I've got this restaurant, this is, I want to sell it now, it's making £50,000 a year properly, profits, so therefore it's worth X amount of money. Then we add fixtures and, what you've got to do to make a business really worthwhile is get it branded. Make sure that you've got the key things that people are buying, understand the people likely to buy your business, and tailor the sale towards that from day one. As one of my favourite authors, Stephen Covey, says, start with the end in mind. So if you're going to start a business tomorrow, and one of the things that you're going to make is to actually sell that business, then start planning that sale from day one, even if you're going to sell it in 10 years' time or 15 years' time. People do buy potential, but they want to see how that potential can play out. So even if a business doesn't seem to be that profitable, it might have value that you hadn't thought about. So it's always worth looking at. I mean, the worst time to sell a business is when you're desperate to sell the business. When the business is on the floor, or you can see these problems coming. That's the worst time, because people aren't stupid. They can see these things are coming. So that's fair enough, isn't it? So, but again, it's not a plug. But if you do want to sell a business, or you want to work on developing that business to sell, then do let me know and we can talk about it.
What happens then if someone comes to you and they want to sell a business, which obviously happens, and you look at them and you think, this isn't worth anything, what do you then do at that point?
You mean if I've got a client that comes to me with a business,
like the one you just
says, I want to sell it. Well, I'd tell them what I've just said. I'd say, first of all, are you looking at asset stripping it? Is the lease worth something? What sort of equipment have you got? What is it that you're actually selling? Where's the potential? Do you have, they call it barriers to entry into a business. What makes your business difficult to get into? And let's try and highlight all those areas. But by the time someone's made that decision, I want to sell it now, it's maybe a little bit on the late side to actually do something with it. But it's still worth putting it out there and seeing what people say. I mean, on the other side of things, one of the things that I did used to get when I worked at the business transfer agency, they would do everything they could to discourage someone looking to buy a business to go and see their accountant, because if you go to an accountant with a set of accounts for the business they want to buy, the accountant will probably say, no, it's a rubbish business, don't buy it. And if the business is then becomes a success, and they go back to the accountant, they can always say to the accountant, you told me it's rubbish, but it's really good. But the accountant can always say, but that's because you're such a good businessman. But if an accountant says, yeah, it's a good business, and the business fails, you can't then turn around to them and say, well, that's because you're a crap businessman or woman. So the time to plan for a business sale is the sooner the better.